Hello my strong friends, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Meg Squats, and I talk about how to get strong and all things strength related. So today, this is kind of a new series that I want to try out where I review products that are supposed to make you strong, or at least they're marketed to strength athletes. And today, I'm going to try something that I think is very cool and innovative, and I'm excited that this is the one to kind of kick off the series. They've given me samples before. So it's liquid chalk, which if you don't lift, you might not understand exactly why that's a thing, but basically a lot of lifters, weightlifters, power lifters, and just general gym goers sometimes will use chalk so that they can hold on to the bar, and that could be on their skin or even shirts. Like in a back squat, when you have a barbell on your back, sometimes adding some chalk there is nice to create a little bit of friction so that it doesn't slip, and it definitely, most importantly, doesn't slip through your hands. This is especially important with the deadlift. I put a lot of chalk on my hands during the deadlift, during my pull-ups, during my bench, and even when I'm holding onto the bar in my squat. So pretty much you need chalk for every lift. Liquid chalk is a nice alternative to what kind of chalk you use regularly. If you walk into a gym, they'll usually have, and I'll show it in this video, they'll usually have like a bucket or a pretty much just like a container that holds a lot of loose chalk, so it'll be like powdery chalk that you can kind of put on your hands. It's extremely messy, and this is something that you only find at like weightlifting halls, powerlifting, in powerlifting clubs, or like at CrossFit gyms. Liquid chalk is a nice alternative if you aren't a member at one of those gyms but want to lift seriously and use like powerlifting movements or weightlifting movements. So the brand that makes this liquid chalk in particular is Iron Club. So it's US Iron Club, and their main product is liquid chalk. So you can buy this sample size, which I think they call this their travel size, and it's a little bit smaller, or you can buy a gym bag size for a little bit more. I've had this for a little bit. I've used it in a couple of sessions already, but it's just you can see like the particles are coming off because it actually turns into chalk. But it's liquid when you use it, and it just goes into your hand like this. And it just looks like kind of like lotion when you first take it out. So pretty standard. It smells kind of like alcohol. Don't taste it. I wouldn't recommend to taste it. But the way you use it is you just rub it in your hands kind of like a lotion, and you can start to feel a little bit of friction even when. And my hands aren't white or anything at first, and you can see magically as the lotion starts to dry, it's like turning into chalk. So you see that magic? Magic! And my hands are completely white. Isn't that crazy? Now this looks just how my hands would look if I were to put them in a bucket and have a bunch of chalk. And you can see, if you can see this, I don't know if you can see the particles, but it is like regular chalk, like some is coming off. Can you see the dust? It's like regular chalk. The only thing with this is usually when I stick my hands in a bucket, I will make sure to get chalk in between my fingers. So if I were to use this right now, and I will use it when I'm lifting, I would just make sure to kind of make sure I hit like the gaps of my fingers, and especially this part right here. So that's just something to keep in mind, but I don't think you're really limited with it. But it is like, it's really magical, right? It's crazy that this can turn into the chalk that we all know and love. I'll let you know how it feels as I'm lifting today. I'm gonna deadlift up to I think we'll only go up to like 330 pounds for singles. I'm going pretty heavy today relatively to like my 1 rep max. So I think we'll be able to see if this stuff really works. But so far, I am impressed with how this can turn into chalk. It's nice to keep in your bag. Your bag isn't messy, especially if you go to a commercial gym and they're annoyed by the messy chalk. This could be a good alternative for you. I know that when I bring chalk to meets, usually I'll put it in a Tupperware, and I'll put it in a Tupperware in a bag. So like the chalk will be in a bag in a Tupperware. If I love this, and if nothing slips out of my hands, then, this might be my go-to. So I'm gonna show you what the chalk at my gym looks like. I have this bucket here. We're not supposed to remove the chalk. Some people kind of just have chalk during, like right next to their barbell during their workouts, but I think having this contained and kind of a rule, like you're not allowed to do that, makes it definitely a little more clean. But you can see there's kind of chalk all over the ground here that just builds up, and then you get it on the floor as well, which I train at a CrossFit gym, so it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of part of the culture. When you're training at like a nice clean Equinox, they probably won't welcome your messy chalk. Usually you'll just dig your hand in here and take some of the loose chalk, or take a brick here and just wipe it on your hands. So I'm not going to use this today. Comparing those two is about pretty much the same. I'm going to put loose chalk on this hand, and I'll put the iron club on this hand so you can kind of see the difference. That's might be too much.
You want to give me some?
But yeah, Ryan and I, so I don't use both my hands together, we're going to wipe it in. And you already saw the demonstration there. I usually use like the loose chalk, and then, like I said, I'll rub the brick like in between my fingers. So you can see it's pretty much the same deal. Probably have more chalk on this hand than I do this, but it's about the same. Same kind of deal. So that's a comparison of the difference between the two options that you have. Okay, now we deadlift. Feels the same. So now that I kind of showed you the difference between the two chalks, most of us probably know what regular chalk is like. I'm going to switch and just use this for the rest of my workout. I will say that my hand, I need to re-chalk. I can tell because it kind of, after that one lift, it's kind of off, and just I've been moving around in the gym anyway and like grabbing my camera and whatever. You will need to reuse the chalk, but I already reuse chalk for every set pretty much when it's heavy. For deadlifts especially, I wanna make sure that I'm holding on to that bar. This is a lot cleaner than regular chalk, and especially if you're not, I think just the mess from having normal chalk is mostly from the bucket of chalk and it being in your bag. It still does actually turn into real chalk when you put it on your hand. So it's not, I don't think you're ever gonna find a chalk solution that's the absolute cleanest thing, it only stays on your hand. But it is a lot cleaner than having crumbly chalk all over the place.
The other fun thing about chalk.
That's the best part. It passes that test. Just still, when someone smacks your butt, #Fitsbook. I want to go a little bit heavier than what I planned. 350 would be pretty close to what I would open with at a meet, at least recently. I want to kind of see if Iron Club can kind of pass the test for true 1 rep maxes, because it's been going so well so far. Is it going to work when I'm using super heavy weights, and can I rely on this for a meet? This will be 350 and my last lift of the day, thank God. So we'll see how it works. I said, that's pretty close to like what I would open with, which is pretty heavy weight for me. Worked fine. I mean, as far as my grip goes, I do have bigger hands for a girl, so I tend to not really have problems with grip, but I always need chalk, and US Iron Club has proven the test. There are some pros and cons. I will say, as far as cons go, it's a little bit more expensive than chalk that you would buy. You can buy blocks of chalk for really cheap, but if this is your only option, it's definitely something good and something good to have handy, especially if you're traveling and don't know if you can lift at like a regular powerlifting gym. Now, for deadlifts, you can use straps for your grip. Using these can get you really strong, but you're obviously not allowed to compete with straps at all, so it's more of like a band-aid solution. It won't help you with your grip at all if you use straps. And also, like, most people can deadlift or clean or snatch a lot more with straps. So that's like, if you can't use any kind of chalk at all, maybe look into some kind of straps. These are from Hook Grip. They're usually super cheap. You can buy them and have them for a long time. I mean, these are kind of starting to fall apart, but I still use them. So yeah, I hope you guys like the review. That's gonna be the end of this video. Now I wanna start doing a series on this, so if there are any products that you are kind of on the fence about buying, please let me know in the comments below what I should review next, and I'm happy to do a review of that. Now, like I said, I do know the owners of Iron Club, and I told them that I wanted to do a review of this because I do think the product is really cool, and I don't think enough people know about it. So they are offering a 10% discount to anyone who watches this video and wants to try. They have the liquid chalk you can buy on their site, and also they have some apparel that you can also purchase. Iron Club also is a sponsor of the USAPL, which is the federation that I compete in, so it's great when companies are really supporting powerlifting competitions. Even though they're just starting out, they are giving back to the community. So I love that, and that's like why I do what I do anyway. So yeah, make sure you check them out and give this video a like if you want to see more of the series. Bye guys!